Hey, how's it going, everybody? Today is my Happy Chaos tutorial for Season 2. It's been a little bit since Season 2 has happened, but most of the stuff hasn't changed too much from Season 1. There's a couple differences, but I'm going to go over pretty much everything I can. Normal special moves, his zoning a little bit, how to do the 2 frames, his pressure, his mix-ups, and who to watch out for good Happy Chaos play. So we'll start with the normals. 5P, pretty solid button, goes into 5P, 6S. 2P is also very good. They buffed it. It is now 5 frames. So both of these normals are 5 frames. So it is your best mash out option. It goes really well with other special moves too. So mashing out with the 2P or 5P is your best options. Jump P is it's okay. Sometimes they use it for like catching people out of the air, but it's something to write home about. It's okay. I use it sometimes. His 6P is pretty good. It looks really small, but it does go a lot farther than you think. Between 5P and 6P are probably his best anti-airs. Onto the kicks. His 5K and his 2K are very, very good. Quite fast. I think 6 frames and 7 frames. They both go into 6K, which leads to pretty good damage in combos if you know how to do the 2 frames. His jump K is decent. Nothing too crazy. I don't use it as much as jump P just because it's a little bit slower. But it does have good range on it.
Boring.
His 6K is very good. You're going to use it a lot for combos. It's easily one of his best combo fillers. So you definitely want to be using 6K. You're going to be using a lot in combos if you learn the character. So his other normal is jump 2K. His jump 2K is good for mix-ups. I will show you those later. It's not really good for combos or anything else, but it does leave you low to the ground, unlike in Season 1. So it definitely got buffed in that regard. Next up is Slash. 5 Slash or 5S and 2S are very, very strong. They go very far. Leads into very good damage, especially on counter hit. But they do have a lot of recovery on them, so I would be careful. You definitely want to make sure these connect before doing them. His Jump Slash is definitely his best button in the air. The only thing is if you hit them, they don't have a lot of hit stun on them, so you definitely want to be using a bullet if you land, especially on hit stun or block stun. But definitely his best jump in attack, for sure. It's really good for IDing backwards, too. Next up is his Close Slash. His Close Slash is very, very important. It makes stuff like this into 2D a true block string. It makes this into a true block string. It also, one of his best damage starters. So, it's not plus, right? But it basically is plus thanks to Gunshot, so... And stuff like 2-6S, which we'll talk about in a few minutes. His normal is very, very important for him. His 6S is also very strong. You're going to use it a lot to catch backdashes. Gets in the back combo damage. So definitely, and combos in general. So you're definitely using that a lot with 6K. Next up is Heavy Slash. His Heavy Slash is just his gun. If you press it, it comes out. You cannot block during the stance. You could also negative edge this, which is going to come into play for his combos. But both his 2H and his 5H and his jump H are all pulling out the gun. The only thing is, if you have the gun out, you press 2H, it pulls it back out, or it brings it back in. So of course you're going to use it for combos and be able to block and stuff like that, and pressure. Next up are his dust attacks. His 5D is pretty decent. You can use it for mix-ups here and there. Probably the best thing for it is he has a very unique combo off of Charge 5D. Because you cannot burst during Charge 5D. This makes it very, very good to use during mix-ups, especially mid-screen. They cannot burst, and they're basically full screen, which makes the entire combo unburstable and gives you a lot of damage. So it's probably his best option out of 5D. Of course, 5D is very slow. But thanks to the gun, you can make it very safe. So if they do block it, you can always keep it safe by doing the gun, as long as you have bullets and meter. His 2D is quite solid too. Since they buffed a lot of the 2Ds in the game, you can do max range 5K or 2K into 2D, which is a little bit more damage than doing this. It's also easier to get the 2-frame combos. Well, they're not even 2 frames if you use 2D. It's way easier to get this stuff. Combos like that become way easier off of 2D. His jump knee is interesting. It is a cross-up attack. You do have to press it before you switch sides, so you have to press it preemptively before you actually cross them up. It's decent. Sometimes I use it, especially if I want to get out of the corner. I want to try to make a sneaky play and get a combo started. It's not the craziest button in the world, but it's pretty decent. Sometimes I do it off of like a situation like this. If I get wall break, I'll like ID to make it whiff, obviously. So they think I'm gonna press the button and just throw them. It's kind of gimmicky, but you can use it like that if you want. Our next throw is throw. So his ground throw pushes you quite a bit away, which could be good and bad depending on what you're trying to do. Mainly it's good because off of this throw, you can put curse on him, you can focus. So the throw is quite solid. The other good thing is air throw. His air throw leaves you pretty close, so you can start your pressure up or reload a few bullets or whatever you want. You can also push them away and then put curse on them. So you have options with this air throw. You can either keep them close or keep them away. It's up to you. I use this quite a bit, especially if people trying to air dash at me and I have clone up. It's a pretty good anti-air. It's basically, you know, it's an unblockable anti-air. So I do use air throw a lot in that situation. It's pretty good in that scenario. That's it for the normals. So special moves, right? 2 to 6p curse, very strong. You want to maintain this as best as you can. Obviously, if you get hit, it goes away now, so it is definitely a lot weaker, but it's still very, very important to keep that on them. This becomes a very, very strong... The gun becomes a very strong footsie tool as long as you have 2 to 6p on them. Curse lasts about 7 seconds, so you do have a lot of time to try to make a play with it, or zone, or do whatever you want. 2 to 6k is the clone. It takes a lot of your HP away now, so I would be careful when using it. I would not use it too often, only if you're in danger. And if you use all your HP, you gain a little clone, which is pretty bad. It goes away basically instantly, and it covers basically nothing. So I would use clone sparingly now. It's not the best move. 2 to 6s. Gun flip, right? Very useful for combos. It also leads to a fat combo starter on counter hit. It's pretty good for pressure and combos in general, especially if you're trying to fake out like a throw. Doing like close slash into 2 to 6s or close slash into run up throw. Very good option. It also acts faster to bring out a gun. So this way, this can happen. Let's say if you're trying to mash out, you can do this. You can throw them. This becomes way faster. So your mash out option becomes plus. So the move is very useful. Definitely something you're going to be using a lot in combos, pressure, etc. Defense now. 214k. 214k, the roll is a lot better. It goes farther. You can pull out gun a lot quicker. So usually the thing I use it for is mainly to be sneaky. So like I'll do, if I know I'm going to mash out, I can do something like this to try to catch them off guard, get a quick hit in, and now I have the corner, right? So, pretty decent. It's not the greatest move ever, but it is definitely a lot better now than it used to be. Next one, 214S. This is the bread and butter for him. This move is incredibly powerful. Big combo starter. It's your zoning tool. It could be your footsie if you have 2 to 6p on them, because it comes out very fast. The move is easily his best move in the game. You're going to use it pretty much 1,000 times a match, right? Pressure, combos, zoning, everything. Everything you're going to be using at the ready for. Next one, 214p. This is your concentration meter. On the bottom next to his bar. This move is very important. You're going to be using it a lot because now, due to the nerf on the concentration in general, if you have 214S out for very long and you're very far away, it drains very fast. And if you're trying to zone with it, you get like 3 shots max, maybe 2, depending on how much bar you have. If you have it on, right? you have a lot more. And if you're really close and you have a lot of bar, you drain concentration very, very, very slowly. So, very important move. It has a lot of recovery, so you don't want to be using it too crazy. The main reason I use it, or the main way I use it for, is like if I get a guard crush and I want to refill, he's pretty much safe. You can't punish it. Or if I'm really far and I'm zoning and I get a hit, right? I'll do stuff like this, so I can gain curse on them and gain my concentration back. That is it for special moves. So, supers. Super focus, right? Gives him all his health back, or health, excuse me. Give him all his focus back immediately. This move is extremely powerful. It becomes plus if you do stuff like this. You could do it, use it for zoning, use it for pretty much everything. It's definitely his most important super. His other super, Deus Ex Machina. It tracks anywhere on the screen. It's his main tool to regain bullets back, and also to gain wall break. Right? I would not use it if you're not going to get wall break, because it does have quite a bit of recovery on it, and especially not on block. I would not use that move on block. It has a lot of recovery, so I'll be careful with that. Oh, I did miss reload. I'm sorry. I did miss reload. Reload is very fast. You are in counter hit state, so be careful when using it. But it is very quick. You can pretty much block instantly after one bullet. The main thing for his combo is you want to maintain at least 2 bullets. So if you have 0 bullets, you definitely want to be sneaking into 2D somewhere so you can reload as many as you can. Or just in neutral, try to sneak in and reload real quick. So you can try to maintain at least 2 bullets for combos. All your combo starters are going to require 2 bullets. So you want to keep that in mind. So those are the supers, all the good stuff. So let's talk about the zoning, right? I'm not going to talk about the zoning too much because I already talked about it already. I have another tutorial about the zoning in Season 2, but I'll show it briefly. Let me put on controller. So when you have zoning out, you want to, if you don't have curse on them, the tracking on after ready does take a little bit. If you have curse, it tracks basically instantly. So you want to keep in mind when zoning, you need to wait a little bit if they don't have curse on them. But the main way to do the zoning is basically you want to be at the ready and you want to be holding H, right? So when you do it, holding H, reload, go back to 214S, reload, reload. This maintains the guard crush. So it definitely just takes some practice. It's not the hardest thing for him, but you definitely want to be using it. The zoning is very powerful still. And if you don't know how to zone, it's going to be pretty hard for you to really steal games. Happy Chaos definitely has a lot of robbery factor on him. So definitely learn the zoning. It's still very important for Season 2. So if you want to learn more about the zoning, check out my other guide. I'll leave it in the description below. It talks about more of the zoning and how to maintain it. So let's talk about the 2 frames. So the 2-framer is most important thing about Happy Chaos. It is the everything for him. 2 frames means you only have 2 frames to hit the combo. So it is quite difficult, but it is definitely a must learn. You have to learn this. Basically how it works is you need to be having a hit. Also it's used for pressure too, but doing it for pressure, it doesn't need 2 frames. But you see that? That is not a 2-frame. You see how low they pop up to the ground? So basically you want the shot and the clean shot, the guard crush shot, to be very close together. You don't want to do it too fast. You want to be in the perfect range, the 2 frames, right? So that's not a 2-frame, right? That's a 2-frame. The 2-frame has a much bigger window to pop up, which leaves way easier combos. All his BMBs use a 2-frame. You have corner to corner off of this too. Even I messed it up too. It's not easy. Even I messed it up too. You're only human. You will mess it up, but do the best you can. So for the 2-frame, it gets easier. It becomes a much bigger window depending on what button you use. So like I mentioned, doing it off of 2D, the window is way higher. Doing it off of 6S, the window is way higher. So obviously, the more hits than you have on a normal, the easier it becomes. So stuff like 2P into this is very hard. Stuff like 6P is pretty difficult too. So probably the easiest in range is stuff like 2D, 6S, then it goes 6K, then it goes like far slash, 2S, then it goes like 6P, 2P. Those like 1-frame hit confirms, it's a 2-frame link. Like that's definitely the hardest. So definitely learn at least most of them. I would not learn the 2P one. The 2P one is pretty unnecessary. If you want to flex, you can flex and learn it, but it's not the craziest thing in the world to learn. But definitely off of stuff like far slash, 2S, 6K, these are very, very important. And also you want to be able to build a timing where you get this sort of hit. So there is a specific timing where you will get the 2-frame and also the counter hit confirm. So if you do it too slow, you'll get the 2 hits. So like something like this, right? You do not want that. You want a singular shot on your counter hits. So you want something like this, right? This combo does mad damage, right? So if I do something like this, that is way more damage than doing something like this. You see how much like hits on the K you have because of that second shot? You want to avoid that. Now, if you're watching this, I assume you're a beginner. Don't feel too discouraged if you can't hit that counter hit confirm. It is an OS, right? It's an option select. So if you get the timing right on both the normal hit and the counter hit, it should come out automatically. But don't feel too discouraged if you don't hit it. It will come with practice. Just set the training mode to random, and then just try to practice getting both the 2-frame normal hit and then the 2-frame counter hit. You'll get it in time. It's not a crazy big deal if you don't have it on the first couple days of playing Happy Chaos. So next, let's talk about the pressure. So his pressure game is very, very strong. There's a lot of options you can do out of it. So one of the main ones he does is obviously the guard crush. The guard crush pressure is very strong. However, it does require a lot of concentration meter. So, and also you can't loop it into itself. In the corner, you can because you regain your 2 bullets and you're still plus. But mid-screen, you can only gain 1 bullet. To keep it plus. Because if you reload 2 bullets, there's no normal that reaches. There's no normal that reaches far enough in order you to keep your pressure up. So, and mid-screen, it's decent. The better option mid-screen is doing stuff like this. Trying to work in that throw game. So trying to pressure people with close slash into the success, or close slash into throw, or 2K into this too. 2K is really good because you're really close, so you basically have throw automatically. But in the corner, the guard crush loop is a little bit easier to do, or it's a little bit better to keep the pressure up. And especially in the corner, you can do stuff like this and remain plus. Your opponent has 2 options out of this. They can either backdash on the guard crush shot, or they can mash if they're close enough. If they decide to backdash, you can just delay the shot and catch them and do crazy damage. If they decide to mash, they should lose if you're doing the correct timing for the guard crush loops. So automatically you should beat mash, and if they are backdashing, just delay the shot a little bit. Those are the main 2 options people have against it besides reversal. If they do decide to DPU, like Kai having a reversal, you can do stuff like this. Going from close slash, 6K shot, guard crush, putting the gun away, and then doing curse. This is going to be the best way. It basically avoids any reversal that isn't like a super. Pretty much all the DPs get avoided by this, especially even Leo's. So it is very easy to do with a little bit of practice. So I've definitely tried practicing that. It's definitely your best way to get out of reversals. besides super. So next up, we'll talk about the pressure, or talk about the mix-up. Sorry. So his mix-up game, his best option is usually in the corner. So off of throw or like off of a knockdown, you can do stuff like close slash, meaty close slash, jumping into the air, shooting 2 bullets. And you can go low by doing 2k, 6k, and then looping them back in the corner. So basically, off of shot. It gives you the grounded wall splat, which gives you enough time to do concentration, reload 2 bullets, and then get back in there to do it again. So you can have a looping mix-up situation. Something like this, right? It catches backdash too. I'll set him to guard after first hit. This is like an example of the pressure. Obviously, he's blocking everything. So obviously, you would try to get the hit there and then just loop back into the same situation. That is definitely his best pressure. His other good pressure is a little bit harder, but it's the blue RC. Something to block. So this is a fuzzy overhead. You have a low option by just going into 2D. It's safe. It's a true block string. It's a lot harder to do. And it does require meter, which is like very important for Happy Chaos. So it's good mix, but definitely the less costly mix-up is definitely in the corner. You can do it mid-screen too. But in the corner is a lot better because obviously you can just loop it with the wall splat. So those are his main 2 pressure options, or it should be mix-up options. I don't know why I keep saying pressure. But those are just 2 main mix-up options. I would definitely learn both of them. The blue RC mix-up is definitely a lot harder, but it does lead to very fat damage. So that is the end of the tutorial. I know I talked very fast, but I want to give a decent overview of the character and what to learn, what things you could avoid learning at the start, like the 2 frames off of like 2P and stuff like that, and like the counter hit, auto combo, or auto option selects, right? Definitely players to look out for Happy Chaos. Obviously, Umisho is a very popular one. Lost Soul, myself, I'm usually on net play and at some tournaments here and there. Kudo Geo, he is a net play Happy Chaos that also has been going to tournaments here and there. And Smitty, who's also a Happy Chaos player for net play tournaments usually. I think he's going to Evo as well. But that's it for me. Hopefully you enjoyed. Hopefully this wasn't too long. And I'll catch you guys next time. Peace.
この番組はご覧のスポンサーの提供でお送りします。